It was about 12:30 that the parents of Archie Battersbee put forward this application to the Supreme Court, basically wanting their son to stay on the life support machine for longer whilst the United Nations considered the case. Now, if anyone was watching this thinking, how on earth did the United Nations get involved? The parents of Archie Battersbee last Friday made a very much sort of a last-ditch attempt to get in touch with the United Nations, and in turn their Committee for the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, they put a request forward to the British government requesting that they do not turn off Archie Battersbee's life support machine until their committee considers it. That then in turn led to the case going to the Court of Appeal yesterday, where Sir Andrew McFarlane, the most senior family court judge in England and Wales, he rejected the application and said that Archie Battersbee's life support machine should be switched off at midday today. I should state that has not happened. He is currently on that life support machine that has not been switched off, because the Royal London Hospital have said that they will wait for a decision from the Supreme Court before they remove any treatment whatsoever. So at the moment we're in this really, really difficult waiting game for the Supreme Court to make their decision. We understand 3 justices are considering it, and there may be a decision today, but this could go on any further. I mean, we've talked about this quite a few times, haven't we, Alex, on your programme, and it's had so many twists and turns along the ways. It's been an immensely unpredictable case, and of course ultimately at the heart of it, it's a deeply upsetting case for the family involved. Every twist and turn may be interesting for some in a legal perspective, but of course for the family it's absolute torture as they wait to find out what exactly will happen to their son.
Just waiting for those sirens to finish behind you, Alice. So the family have now gone back to the Supreme Court. If they are not successful there, have they then exhausted all possible legal avenues?
The only other option that they haven't pursued is they could have gone to the European Court of Human Rights. But from my understanding of it, is the information that they were told is that the application would almost have been rejected instantly because the court there doesn't look very favourably on these types of cases. And so, for example, in a very similar way to the European Court of Human Rights with Charlie Gard. And therefore, that's why they sort of didn't go down the Strasbourg route. But at the moment, the order that's been put in place by the Court of Appeal set a sort of deadline, which was midday today. And one can only assume that if the Supreme Court says that they're not going to relook at the case because of this sort of request from the United Nations, then simply a new deadline will be put in place. But there is a possibility the Supreme Court could intervene. Last week they said they weren't going to intervene in the case, but that was before the United Nations got involved. The barristers on behalf of the family said we would be in breach of international law. So that's kind of the argument where the family are coming from now. And the big question is whether the Supreme Court will look at that. I think crucially yesterday the Court of Appeal Judge Sir Andrew McFarlane said, whilst we may share treaties with the United Nations when it comes to people with disabilities, crucially, unincorporated international treaty is not the same as UK law. And I think it is important to stress this has gone to the UK, to the High Court twice, and doctors and judges have looked at this, and 2 High Court judges have come to the conclusion that it is in Archie's best interest for the life support machine to be switched off. So this is almost completely uncharted legal territory, so of course so many different avenues. So we just have to wait and see what will happen from the Supreme Court. It may be today, but this case could carry on even further. It's had so many twists and turns along the ways, which of course has been absolutely devastating for the family.